Hey guys, welcome to the YouTube channel. Today I want to talk about my collecting solution because a lot of people know I am downsizing my collection, or at least looking at downsizing big parts of my collection. So I'm starting to think about how I want to do it. And I have followed the way Serial at Midnight did it in his videos. So I'm using the exact same method with the Joyce, I don't know, Terrafold, whatever they're called. I'm not getting any affiliate links or anything from them. They're not paying me to do this. I'm just, I'm a fan of Serial at Midnight. He made a really good video on it. He found a solution. So I'm using these, but I'm sticking with these things that I got from Officeworks in Australia. These envelopes for the actual discs, because I've never had a scratch from one of these. So I've been using these for years, so I kind of trust them at this point. And yeah, I've also got these boxes here. So I've got some IKEA boxes, which are called, I've got all this thing because I've just set up a couple. Tajinas, whatever they're called. So yeah, there's a couple of them. I got a big box and a smaller box. Because the smaller boxes, I'm thinking, if I'm correct, we'll try it on camera right now. This should be, in theory, perfect for Blu-rays once they're out of that. So I think that might be the way for the Blu-rays, but I also want to see how a DVD would look if I was to put it that way, like that. Because I would want to see a bit of room at the top, but I'm kind of thinking of the solution. But also with Dragon Ball, that is kind of going to be the first casualty of this, because my Dragon Ball collection, the way I'm thinking about this is I might watch Dragon Ball here, this collection, so all of these single releases, I might watch this maybe once every couple of years. And I have MKV versions of these, so I have almost exact replicas of these on digital form. But obviously, I'm a fan of have the physical media associated with it. So, if anyone ever says, oh, and I know people do it anyways. I know people still take the other route, the unofficial routes. But for me, I'm more big fan of, it's not technically piracy if I'm also supporting the physical media aspect. So I have the physical discs. How I choose to use those discs is nobody's business except mine. And I believe that is the way to go. I'm sure people will say, oh, but that is, why wouldn't you just down, whatever people say. But this is my solution. This is how I get my collection under control, not anyone else's collection. And likewise, I will still draw from the discs. Like, I believe you need to have them. So I've got this bigger box here. So this bigger box, it's much bigger than the other ones. And what this is mostly for is like, I'm going to be able to put DVDs in there, obviously. But for these big boxes, because some of these come in like, what are they called? Like sleeves, or not sleeves, like the actual boxes for Dragon Ball. So what I'm thinking is, because these are pretty easy to fold down, I'm thinking I could probably just fold them down and put at the top alongside the discs. So that's what I'm thinking for Dragon Ball. So they're all in one place. The boxes are together with them. So that if I ever need to bring them back out, that's how I would do it. So yeah, I am sure you guys want to know how this is going to look. So, I mean, I might do one on camera just so we know together. We can all experience that together. But yeah, we'll do this. We'll see. We'll take one out. And also, these are not the ones that stay in the discs, because Serial at Midnight said in his video, and I've also done my research. So I think they're PP something, or like the hard plastic that aren't gonna mess with your discs. And I can already feel that's not like the flimsy ones that I get from other places. Like, this is a chunky boy sort of sleeve, for lack of a better term. So let's get that ready. We'll get that ready. I'll get these ready so I have the actual sleeves ready to go, the thing for the discs. And the way I'm viewing it now is kind of like, I want this to be as streamlined as possible. So I want to have everything together in one place so that I can easily draw from the DVD portion. And I'm only focusing on DVDs at this point. So anyone who's saying the Blu-rays and all that, I will focus on Blu-rays at a later point, depending how the DVD portion goes. And also, I won't be breaking down big box sets like the Dragon boxes or any of that. Like, the collectibles are staying out. And also, the way I'm thinking about it is, am I going to rewatch it? So there's stuff in my collection that I don't intend to rewatch. I have never watched. I just bought it to add watch hours to my collection. So you know how collectors go. We have more whatever than Netflix or whatever. You know, the whole mentality of you got to have more than the streaming services. And these are really hard to open. There we go. Got it. Got it at the end of the day. So yeah, I have never had a scratch from one of these kind of things. I'm not getting any money to endorse these or anything, but yeah, these are just your standard Office Works thingies. And yeah. So I'm going to try one. What is the first one? The first casualty of this, I should say. Yeah, we'll start with Trunks and Bardock. So this one, not one I'm that passionate about, but it also give me a good idea of how it would look. So one singular disc in there. And that's the way I'm looking at it. I want to kind of have that feel of how would it look. So I'm getting this out. Let's just fold that. I'm going to try to fold it as close to thing. And I know people are going to say, but it's not exactly whatever, but I am doing this now because the way I see it is if I was to put it back into a cover, I want it to be along the same line as the cover. I don't want to go any further off. Like, yeah, I could line it up a bit better, but at the end of the day, it's my collection, and this is how I'm going to do it. So let's do the first one on camera. This is the first official one I've actually tried. This is a trial run. So, which way does this go? There we go. That's kind of a good one. And, wow, it actually does fit in there. I thought it wasn't going to work, but I know Serial at Midnight's done it. I mean, yes, the Bardock there on the side is not exactly perfect, but that's where the fold was on the cover. So my mentality is I don't want to add any new folds. So if this was where the cover folded it, the actual plastic cover, that's where the fold's going to remain. Because if I was to ever get it out of here and put it back into covers, I want to have the original as close to creased as it came from the factory. You know, I want it to be as close as possible. And likewise, let's try out these because I know these work. These are a tried true system. And yeah, I mean, it's a bit stained. You can tell, I mean, I probably have to give that a clean with isopropyl, but they're pretty easy to maintain, these DVDs. I'm trying not to touch the back of the discs. Very important. You see a lot of collectors these days on YouTube. They don't know how to handle a disc. So obviously I never touch the back of the disc if I can handle it. You know, I try to keep my hands away from the shiny part of the disc, you know, the part where you actually read information from. And also this has a little holder on the back, so I can just jam that in place. And then I kind of want to put it in there so I can have it in the center. And wow, there we go. And then I want to fold that into it. And there we go. Like, there we go. That's that. It looks like nothing. Wow. I'm actually surprised. This is actually a really good solution. Okay. I'm not going to bore you with a time lapse. This is just a quick 10-minute video to tell you what I'm doing. And hopefully in the next video that I do, all of this Dragon Ball stuff, there's more up the top there too. It's all the way down, you know. Hopefully all that will be packed away and I'll have something to show you in terms of practicality. In terms of this box, it's taking up 1% of the room. In fact, that's what I wanted to say. I wanted to see the small box real quick. So let's do that on camera before we end this. So yeah, that might actually be a solution, because the other good thing about these is this would fit in the Billy bookcase, this one, very easily. I want to see if I went long ways. No, I don't want to add more bends. So if I was going to do it, I'll do it that way. I'm starting to think, how many could I fit in that? Would that fit 100 if I went long ways? I don't know. But this might be a better solution for Blu-rays, actually. So this might be the solution for Blu-rays. It could be a solution, but this would fit perfectly in the Billy bookcase in terms of dimensions. The bigger one is probably not going to fit in the Billy bookcase other than long ways. So that's why I've got it that way. So I can put this one in long ways like that. When I pull it out, boom, you know. This one could go long ways as like drawers almost. But yeah, this is an interesting solution. And I mean, Serial at Midnight, I'll link him in the description, the video I watched. I'm not getting any affiliate dollars from, you know, the Joyce or Terrafold. I'm not getting any of that. But yeah, I appreciate other collectors like Serial at Midnight. His solution for me might potentially work. And I'm not, as I said, I'm not proceeding with the Blu-ray portion of the collection. It's more about getting these bookcases out of the center of the room and kind of getting the ones under control, the DVD portion, because I find it rarer and rarer that I'm drawing from the DVD portion of my collection to watch on my TV. If anything, I will rip them to MKV and then watch it that way. But yeah, this might be a very very interesting solution. But I'll let you go, guys. I'm sure I've bored you for 10 whole minutes with this solution and figuring this out. The light is terrible. I didn't want to turn on the other production lights because I don't think you guys need the production lights for this one. It's more of a raw sort of video, raw thought video. And yeah, I'm trying out Serial at Midnight solution, and this is to get my collection under control. I know other people will say, "Oh, this is the worst way to handle it." At the end of the day, it's my collection, and I need to control my collection. So I need to make those calls about my collection. And I know people will have problems with the way I do it. I'm sure there are people that say these envelopes are not the right way. But as I said, I've been using these envelopes on my collections for years, decades at this point, and I've never had a scratch from one of these. It's only when I put them in the binders and when I put them in the those multiple 200 disc things, that's when they started getting scratched. So I kind of trust this method. I trust that it would work. So that's the way we're going to go. And thanks for watching, guys. If you like this video, like, subscribe, drop a comment, and I'm sure I'll post something when I have something to post. I'm not really promising weekly at this point. I'm just kind of make it up as I go along. So I'll give you like my way of thinking about this. If I never intend to rewatch it, it's getting donated. It's going away. Like, there's TV shows in my collection that I've never watched and don't intend to rewatch or ever watch. Those are going. They're getting donated. They're out of the collection. Like Oprah, I don't think I'm going to watch Oprah. Now, I may rip a copy MKV at some point, but I don't know. I don't really feel passionate. It's more of like, if I don't care about that, it's just going, I don't care about it. I'm never going to rewatch it. There's no real point to having that in the collection. For this stuff that might have resale value, like let's say I didn't want, I don't know, what's something here? Let's say I didn't want to have the orange bricks anymore. I've got all 9 of them. I've got the Dragon Balls. I've got GT. So I've got most of these. I've also got part of the Super Collection as well. So I might sell all these together. I might sell these ones. So these might not be a donation. They might be a sale one where I take them to a CEX or something and sell them. Or even list them on eBay. I don't know. But I don't really like eBay or Facebook Marketplace. I just prefer selling them in person, get the cash up front, boom, done. And then someone else can take the risk, and I mean, they can make some money on it. I don't mind. I will take a bit of a loss on some things, but then it's not my problem anymore. That's the way I'm thinking about it. And then for stuff I'm probably going to rewatch, or like I want in my collection, like the individual Dragon Balls, I will put these in thing. Now, some of these I have multiple discs because I obviously merged some into each other. I'll probably just store them in the same envelope, or maybe, depending on which one's the best, I might put them in separate envelopes, but I'll see when that comes to that. And for the stuff that I rewatch multiple times, this is like the Titanics and the Jaws and Schindler's List and all these other movies, Shawshank Redemption. Them ones will stay on display, alongside, Columbia classics I might sell, Bruce Lee at Golden Harvest, the yellow box I might sell. There might be stuff that I sell, but basically it's a multiple approach solution. It's kind of like, will I be rewatching this? If I will, then keep it. But if not, why am I keeping it? Anyways, that's my solution, guys. I will update you when I have something to update. There won't be an end screen on this. I'm just going to end abruptly as I've been doing. So thanks for watching. Peace.